And good evening, everybody. Thanks for joining us. I'm Connie Leonard, new here at 11 o'clock. LMPD's homicide unit is investigating tonight after human remains were found in the Bashford Manor neighborhood. LMPD said they responded to the 3400 block of Gladden Drive off Bashford Manor Lane just before 2 this afternoon to reports of a decomposed body that was found by a passerby. When officers arrived, a witness told them they had located several decomposed remains in Beargrass Creek. LMPD's homicide unit says they are male remains and they are now conducting a death investigation. Those remains were sent to the medical examiner's office to determine the cause of death. LMPD is still looking for the driver of a truck they said hit a 3-year-old girl in the Fairdale neighborhood. That little girl is expected to survive, but neighbors of the Regency Park apartment complex are still shocked. WHAS11's night team's Clarice Shaley and photojournalist Aspen Hester spoke with neighbors who hope safety changes will be made after this horrible incident.
For everyone was really worried. The kids were crying.
Video captures the moment a 3-year-old girl was hit by a silver truck in the Regency Park apartments in Fairdale Thursday evening. Seemingly running toward the park, she freezes in front of the truck before it happens. It was a nice spring day with kids out playing in the complex.
You expect kids to be out. If you come here often, you know that kids are out. The kids are out every day.
Tenants tell me it all happened right here, right out front of the leasing office. All of this happening right next to a sign that says Lowe, children at play.
And everyone's freaking out and screaming, hey, stop, stop. And I guess he's hesitant, and so he pulls back and runs over again as they're trying to get her out.
The truck eventually flees the area, but it's a vehicle neighbors recognize. They say it comes to the complex often to scrap metal from the dumpsters.
You didn't even step out of your car to check to see if the kid's okay, stick your head out, anything. He just immediately, I guess, freaked out and left. But it's an honest mistake. If you would have stayed, then you're clear.
The little girl had cuts on her face and was taken to the hospital. Neighbors say she's expected to come home Friday afternoon. Multiple neighbors talked to me off camera about a speeding problem through the complex. Speed bumps are in place, but they want higher ones installed to slow people down. On an unusually warm day, an ice cream truck drives through a now quiet apartment complex. Parents holding their children closer than ever. In Fairdale, Clarice Shaley, WHAS 11 night team, on your side.
And here's a closer look at that silver truck. Police didn't provide an exact make or model, but said the driver took off toward Fairdale High School. If you've seen this truck or have any information about what happened, call 574 LMPD. Today, family and friends are mourning the loss of a Farnsley middle schooler who died earlier this week. According to the family, 12-year-old Silas Pollock took his own life after multiple instances of bullying at the school. In a letter to parents, Farnsley Middle School Principal Carolyn Smith announced the 6th grade student's death, saying he made a profound and positive impact on others in our building. The school-based mental health professionals and the district crisis team have been on property this week to help offer support and resources. The school district would not comment on those allegations of bullying. Meanwhile, at the University of Louisville, the American Foundation for Suicide Prevention hosted a walk raising money for the cause.
If you see a child struggling or going through something, please say something and speak up, because anxiety is real, and we try to work with the parents on identifying when your kid is anxious and start to be aware of those triggers so it doesn't get to this point.
And if you're interested in donating to the Pollock family's funeral costs or the American Foundation for Suicide Prevention, we have links on the WHAS11.com homepage. New tonight, the woman charged in connection with the shooting of an Orange County deputy has pleaded guilty. Victoria Howard is accused of helping her boyfriend, Austin Shepherds, after he was accused of shooting Deputy Zach Andry back in January. Police say Howard ordered a lift for Shepherds to help him evade authorities. Shepherds was later killed in a Louisville shootout with LMPD. Howard is scheduled to be sentenced on May 15th. And some scary moments for shoppers. Check out this photo from Clarksville police after an alleged shoplifter pulled out a gun at Lowe's yesterday afternoon. Police say Richard Smith had warrants out for his arrest and attempted to steal items from the Lowe's in Clarksville. Police say when officers approached, he pulled out a gun and ran. One officer was able to use his taser and prevent a second officer from shooting Smith with his weapon. Smith is now facing multiple charges, including theft and resisting arrest. There will be no delay in the trial for one of the men charged in connection with the death of missing Bardstown mother Crystal Rogers. Attorneys for Steve Lawson had asked for an additional DNA testing on hairs found in Rogers' car and to delay the trial to wait for results. However, Nelson County Judge Charles Sims found no reason to delay, deciding no evidence revealed by new testing would exclude Lawson's alleged involvement. Lawson is charged alongside his son, Joseph Lawson, and Rogers' boyfriend, Brooks Houck. Steve Lawson's trial date remains May 27th in Bowling Green. A driver who left a trail of crashes, injuries, and chaos near the VA hospital faced a judge today.
So I had talked to my social worker in the VA, and I told her she wanted me to come in because I filled out my medication on 8th of the 9th on something that happened. You know, I'm not going to.
I don't want you to say anything else, sir. I'm afraid you might admit to something.
James Wells appeared in court this morning where the judge kept his bond at $500,000. Multiple times, Wells tried to ask for a lower bond and even attempted to explain himself. But as you heard, the judge stopped him before he could get himself into trouble. Wells is facing multiple charges, including wanton endangerment, assault, and leaving the scene of an accident. VA police also say he will face federal charges. Wells is due back in court Monday, April 28th. New tonight, we're learning a Southern Indiana worker died after an accident earlier this week. The accident happened at NCON in Shepherdsville on Wednesday morning. Just after 9:30, NCON provides rental equipment for construction projects across the country. The coroner identified the victim as Nicholas Ludwig. In a statement, NCON said, "We are deeply saddened by this terrible loss and are providing support to his family as well as our employees. We are actively working with all local and government authorities to determine the cause of this accident." We have Easter weekend coming up, and we have maybe some rain and some storms this weekend, right?
We do. We're going to have to dodge a few of them out there, but the good news is the forecast is trending a bit drier and drier, especially for your Easter Sunday. And temperatures will be staying very warm, just like they were today. We started off at 59 degrees this morning, made it up to 84 in Louisville. And temperatures out there right now still in the 70s all across Kentuckiana. So it will be a very warm evening, warm night. Max HG radar showing a mix of clouds out there. Any kind of rain as of right now far off to our west and northwest. But as a front sets up to our northwest, we will have the chance for a few isolated to scattered showers or thunderstorms as we head into late tonight, more so early Saturday morning, primarily in southern Indiana. That will take us through Saturday morning, and then really it's dependent on if we have any boundaries or outflows that are set up after that, where storms could pop later on in the afternoon and evening hours. But as I mentioned, plenty of dry time on tap. Temperatures remaining well above normal. We'll take a full look at that Easter weekend forecast and your 7-day coming up in just a bit.
All right, thank you, Mallory. Even as floodwaters have receded, the city of Shepherdsville continues to warn residents that certain areas are still being cleaned up. For a new veteran-owned business, repairing the damage was a race against the clock. The night team's Jose Alonso takes us to a grand opening that you'll only see right here on WHAS11.
It wasn't that long ago when the Salt River flooded a brewing company sharing its name. The owner says after some quick damage repair, they were able to see a large turnout of support. Salt River Brewing Company had a full house just 2 hours after opening their doors.
We don't have a lot of nice options here in Shepherdsville, and so we were really excited to see them open and wanted to come check them out.
Seeing this kind of turnout is a dream turned reality for owner Adam Kelty.
I've been kind of waiting for this for 4 months, you know, and it's here. So, yeah, it's just incredible to see everybody in here. Yes, I am a Kentucky native. I'm born here in Bullitt County, raised in Mount Washington.
Kelty just retired from the military on April 1st after serving 4 years in the Navy and another 4 years in the Army. He says this new venture is his way of settling back home into civilian life.
That day that we received our license, we were going to open. So we got our license last Wednesday.
But Mother Nature had other plans as a flood buried Shepherdsville underwater, including Kelty's building. But as soon as the flood cleared, they got to work.
It was about 4 days of everything drying. We laid the floor in 3 days. Additionally, it was about an extra $9,500 for the floor and the trim and, a little bit of other damage that it caused.
It shows how hard they were willing to work to make this happen. And that's a good feeling. They want it to succeed as much as we do.
The watering hole also partnered with the pizza company to complement their drinks. Co-owner of Get Fired Pizza, Brian Arnett.
We were kind of the last piece of the puzzle, so flooding coming in, the way everyone showed out for us, we had a lot of volunteers come in and really help us pick this place up and get it moving again. What they did in days would have taken us weeks.
So if you plan to visit, don't forget what these taps went through to fill your drink. In Shepherdsville, Jose Alonso, WHAS 11 Night Team on your side.
Great to see. Well, over in Hardin County, some roads are still underwater. The Hardin County Sheriff's Office posting this video today showing the highway between White Mills and Sonora. The Sheriff's Office says this particular area has a large Amish population, and they are asking you to please use caution in low-lying areas and do not drive through that standing water. A Jeffersonville, Indiana city councilman says the fire territory merger with Utica is still happening, but with a largely reduced budget. This is to comply with the new property tax law in Indiana. Senate Bill 1 passed in the State House this week, and it requires that no new fire territories can have a property tax rate over 40 cents per $100. This fire territory was going to have a $30 million annual budget at a 62-cent tax rate. Well, City Councilman Dustin White says the most likely thing to be cut is the new fire-based EMS service that Jeffersonville was planning to have. That was at least $6 million out of this plan.
I want to assure people they will be protected by the fire territory. The only difference would be whether or not we can do the EMS portion.
And White says they will get a new budget from their accounting firm next week that complies with the cap of 40 cents per $100 in the new law. The Indiana Senate has sent a bill to Governor Mike Braun's desk, which would add work requirements to receive Medicaid in the state. Under Senate Bill 2, Hoosiers getting their health insurance under the Healthy Indiana plan would need to log at least 20 work or volunteer hours a week with the overseeing state agency. Supporters hope it will curb the program's enrollment numbers. The new requirement would still need federal approval, even if signed by Braun. A similar measure was passed in the Kentucky legislature this year as well.